Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Bow and Arrow Tarot. Today we are carrying on with the weekly for October 27th to November 3rd for the earth signs. All right, we're going to get right into it for the sign of Capricorn. All right, my lovely Capricorns, you're up next. And for those of you who are not regulars on my channel, the weeklies, I pull out 3 romance angel cards for your relationship messages, really, for the week. We pull out 3 animal spirits to see what kind of additional energies you might be working with this week. And then we'll pull out a series of 3 card forecasts for you this week. All right, my lovely Capricorn. So let's get right into it. First up is let your friends help you. Ask for and accept support from others this week. We have healing family issues. Your love life benefits as you forgive your parents. So some of you may be going home, maybe healing this week. Free yourself. It's time to take back control of your life. And this is actually one of my favorite romance angel messages, really. Because freeing yourself oftentimes is really the only way to kind of get through a toxic situation or a situation where you just aren't fulfilling yourself, right? Taking back control of your life is always an important thing. So before we see how these angel messages affect your week or how they may play into your scenarios this week, Capricorn, we're going to pull out your animal spirits. Now remember, of course, this reading can't be for all Capricorns. And do check the other placements of your planets. This is Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, but you may have other planets in those positions, and that's fine. You can check those out. And also, just take whatever resonates with your situation and disregard the rest, okay? The weeklies, I usually pull multiple forecasts and outlooks, and they're not all going to apply to you, and that's fine. Thank you again for stopping by, and let's see what Capricorn has hidden for him this week. The wolf, associated with social activism, right? Feminine energy, leader, earth energy, air energy, the moth. Okay, the moth is one that's been showing up lately. And then we have another earth energy, the fox. The fox is really one of those beautiful, practical, earthy energies. Very, very good in terms of a relationship or a mate in a relationship. Let's go ahead and take a look at these animal spirits briefly before we go into your forecast. So it's quite interesting. Now we begin to understand a little bit of the romance angel messages, especially with healing family issues, because the wolf is the guardian of the pack, right? So this is very feminine energy. This is like the matriarch. This is the humanitarian, the social activist. But more than anything, the wolf's main objective is to be the protector of the pack or the family. But oftentimes the wolf can get into trouble when they expect everyone in the pack to follow suit, to be exactly like them, or to follow their sort of in their footsteps exactly, especially when we're dealing with children. So this could indicate for some of you, either you're dealing with somebody who's resonating with this energy, or you yourself may be resonating with it a little bit. And again, this may indeed mean healing some family issues, in particular with parents or people who have raised you, if they're not your parents, your aunties or grandparents. And just their desire for you to follow in their footsteps, do with your life what they want you to do. And so this may be at the heart of some of these family issues that you're dealing with this week, or you may be dealing with a matriarch that is really resonating with wolf energy. And of course, the way to deal with that, of course, is just to communicate. And we'll see more in the cards, but this could certainly be indicative of a person that you're dealing with this week. Now, moth energy is quite interesting also. It's air energy, but the moth is the grass is greener on the other side character. This is the person who is always looking for easy solutions or very easily sort of dazzled by anything shiny and new, right? I mean, the moth to the flame, right? It's the age-old saying. And so oftentimes moth individuals may make hasty decisions. They may be overly wishful. They don't think things through. And oftentimes they have a life of sort of disappointment, unfulfilled projects, unfulfilled goals, because they really just don't take the time to really invest, right? And if you're resonating with this, or if you're dealing with somebody who's resonating with this energy, I mean, the lesson here is that no one is exempt from life's sort of trials and tribulations, right? And so the idea that the grass is greener is always going to lead to sort of a defeat in a way. Excuse me. And so moth energy individuals need to be reminded of that. Fox energy is quite interesting. Again, we have a earth energy, and this is a really wise teacher, a strong mate. This is probably one of the best animal spirits for a partnership, a relationship, because the fox is very sort of committed. Once they are with a loved one, they're very committed. They're very charming. They keep relationships alive and fresh. They're also the wise teacher, and so they're very mature in a lot of ways and can handle the ups and downs that a relationship may go through without, leaving or moving on as like perhaps a moth would, right? And so fox energy is also comes in at a time when we need to reconnect with our loved ones. Again, this is all quite in line with healing family issues, also with letting your friends help you, right, to communicate with your family or to communicate with on a particular issue. And of course, freeing yourself from unrealistic expectations that family members may put on you, or freeing yourself from a kind of attitude, like a moth sort of attitude of generally wanting things to be easy, and realizing that, sometimes you're just going to have to put that extra work in, right? All right, Capricorn. Let's get your forecast out for the week. We're going to pull out about 4 to 8 3-card forecasts for the week, just to see what scenarios you may or may not be dealing with, right? The cards are the energy that you bring into the week, and the energies that you meet in the outcome. All right, let's get right into it. We have first out 4 of Cups, the World, and Page of Pentacles. Okay, so for some of you, you come into this week really kind of defiant, right? You're not willing to sort of accept an offer of help or an offer of love. It could be that, you're still feeling, some of you may be in a particular situation where you're still feeling quite upset about a past slight or a past argument, a rift in the family, especially if you are healing family issues this week. But whatever the case may be, you're just not willing to accept this olive branch or this cup of love, right? For some of you, if it's in a relationship, you're just wanting them to show you a bit more than just that empty cup, and you just don't feel like you have anything to gain. Sometimes this can be a good form of discerning, which cups are really worth taking. And sometimes this can just be kind of cutting your nose off to spite your face attitude, when you're really being extremely obstinate about something, or just, unwilling to budge, unwilling to be receptive. And for some of you, certainly, if you're depending on whatever the situation may be, you may resonate with either of the interpretations of this. But certainly this week, you come in with kind of a feeling of separateness, not wanting to sort of engage. But interestingly enough, you keep sort of, this week, you're going to keep having opportunities. It won't just be this one time. I think because the World card generally comes in when everything in your life begins to align sort of in your favor, but in your favor to make growth and to make progress, right? And I think that for some of you this week, you may begin to sort of like see things a little bit differently, even though you go into the week kind of not wanting to communicate or open up. I think that there may be certain events that happened this week that kind of prove that that get you to think more compassionately, that may get you to be willing to open up more. It could be that other people are willing to meet you halfway on a particular issue. Oftentimes, the World card also comes in when you realize that it's time for a change, or you realize that you're really at the right place in time on your path, right? This is where you're supposed to be. And sometimes when we have that feeling or events line up in our favor, that can really be a seed of compassion for other things. For instance, when we realize that everything in our lives, right, have led up to this point, we begin to sort of let go of resentment for the trials and tribulations we've been through, because we start to kind of appreciate them for being part of the whole picture that has led to us being where we're at now. And so this may indeed happen for some of you Capricorns this week, and you find out, you end up the week maybe with the Page of Pentacles, maybe just being more willing to have that conversation, more willing to start something new, maybe to start a new dialogue. You may be willing also, because Page of Pentacles is quite interesting. Page of Pentacles generally talks about being willing to put practical time and work in, coming up with practical solutions, right? Everyday solutions. And it can also indicate sort of communicating messages, having a meeting, an email of some sort, a tangible sort of, reaching out. It may even be an invite that you get to a family affair or something like that. So it's quite interesting that for some of you, you certainly end up the week with a renewed sense of being willing to perhaps start a new dialogue, even though you started off the week unwilling to accept that cup. Nine of Wands, King of Pentacles, and the Hermit. So some of you are certainly going through a period right now where you're just looking back. You're being very reflective, and you're looking back on a lot of the trials and tribulations you've been through most recently. And it's really a period of, for some of you, you have this one last little hurdle to go through, and you're kind of just mustering up all the energy to finish a particular endeavor or project that has really been a burden, right? You're coming to the end of it, and this right now you're just kind of realizing that you have to push through and finish this off so that you can lay down this burden or responsibility. I think for some of you, this may indeed be in the area of your career. King of Pentacles comes in this week. So someone who or someone new or someone old in your career, your profession, who has some impact on this particular path you're on right now, is going to come in and probably provide you with some assistance in a way of advice, right? Options. They may even help you financially to get through this last little hurdle, right? It could be like, an example could be if you're finishing off school, or if you're about to be finished sort of having this responsibility, for instance, like taking care of a sick loved one, and that responsibility is coming to a close. A King of Pentacles character is going to come in this week to help you with this last little step. I think you come out of it, though, feeling kind of a sense of really wanting to detach from the world. I think for some of you, this burden has been really overwhelming. And the assistance that's coming in is very welcome, but you still kind of feel at the end of the week like you've had enough of the rest of the world. You want to really just detach. You want to free yourself in a lot of ways. And letting your friends help. This could definitely be a friend who comes in and helps you in a financial way so that you can be free from this burden. Five of Pentacles, Three of Swords, and the Devil. Wow. So some of you have had a power struggle, or you come into this week, either the power struggle has just happened or it's happening right now with you and a connection or a dynamic, either with one or a group of people, and there's going to be sort of a split, right? Five of Pentacles talks about a power struggle that you lose and you pay for kind of financially. You end up paying the price financially. This could be like if you fall out of, if you and your friends are rooming in a house and you have this huge argument and somebody has to move, right? Or somebody stops talking to somebody else, and it really, the whole dynamic changes, and it really impacts also like your livelihood. This is the essence of Five of Pentacles. And so I want to say for some of you, this is going to be a heartbreak situation. Three of Swords. This week you're going to find out. Probably for some of you resonating with this, you're going to find out this week that this power struggle happened because someone has been lying or not telling the truth, or somebody has been cheating. It's a Three of Swords. So this is going to be a tough week for some of you. And be careful, because devil energy is coming in. And that's, you know, I generally say the devil card doesn't mean evil or good. You know, it's the card for creativity. But when creativity is stagnated, you generally have addictions and codependency. But also when we are hurt, when we're put into sort of a feeling of emotional trauma, which Five of Pentacles and Three of Swords combined is very, very upsetting. I mean, this is like, you know, this could be a very bad breakup. Where, you know, you break up with a lover and you stop being friends with certain people because they may have known about it, or they may have alienated you from the information that you should have known. Whatever the case may be, this is going to be quite difficult. Just be careful, because devil energy comes in at this time really to play on your weaknesses. Be careful not to fall into sort of addictive behavior, right? Not to sort of lose yourself too much, right? As a result of coming out of this. This is really going to require help from friends, a wise teacher perhaps in your life who can help you through this scenario so you don't fall into the negative side of this devil card. The Fool is here, Six of Pentacles, and the Hanged Man. So some of you are certainly about to start a new path. A new stage in your life, right? I want to say for some of you, this could be a new stage in your career, right? Your career, or achieving on the path to achieving your career goals, because you have a Six of Pentacles that comes in for you. So Six of Pentacles indicates that your finances, right? Specifically your financial abundance, or just generally your abundance status is elevating to a place where you can begin to give back. You have enough for yourself and to give to others. Six of Pentacles talks about being really like in a very harmonious kind of place with regard to your abundance level, right? You're not struggling, and you're generally now beginning to find a balance between how much you have and how much you can give to others, or if you can now take care of others. It may mean for some of you that you now have the finances to actually be able to take care of relatives or friends that you want to help out. This is all part of Six of Pentacles. It's a very sort of humanitarian sort of Pentacles card. The scale represents the weighing of how much you have compared to how much you give to the world. And so in this way, Six of Pentacles is a really good spot to be in. And I want to say for some of you, it may be quite new, Capricorn. You may have been struggling up until now for quite some time. Hanged Man comes in, and I think you wake up to this new stage or this new path, these rewards coming in. I think they wake you up to the fact that for quite some time you may have been stuck in a particular state, not really putting your best foot forward. And I think you have a bit of an epiphany this week about yourself as well, Capricorn, and what areas in your life you may be stuck or were stuck. It could be that things are coming in well financially, but you may continue to be stuck in other areas, and that's going to be highlighted for some of you. This is going to be the last spread: Queen of Wands, Five of Cups, and King of Swords. So you come in this week really kind of ready to face the worst, right? Because Queen of Wands is the one who's she's the strongest queen in terms of facing, difficulties, facing traumas, facing ups and downs in life, right? And so you're ready to face things head on this week. I think for some of you, you already know that something is happening in a particular relationship that this week maybe it will end. It may come to a head. You do have a Five of Cups, and so there's definitely going to be a feeling of sort of sadness, right? About losing a relationship, or I'm going to say that whatever happens this week reminds you at least of a relationship that you've lost perhaps in the past. It could be that you break up and you not only are you upset about a particular breakup or what you're encountering this week, but it just reminds you again of a time before that was really painful for some of you. Can very well be also that this is just a feeling you have. You have a feeling that something is not going right in your relationship. And so King of Swords comes in because the situation right now is calling for you to really have open communication and search for the truth, right? Don't get too caught up. For those of you who haven't necessarily had a breakup or are breaking up, but you just feel as though things aren't quite right, the way to attack it is really to search for the truth, to really uncover what it is you think is going on, to put your mind at ease, okay? This is really quite a week for you, Capricorn. Like I said, this has been very much in line with the romance angel messages. Okay, so this week is very much about healing yourself, perhaps healing relationships with others, and freeing yourself, right? Freeing yourself from a stage in your life that perhaps has been quite difficult. It may have been some financial ups and downs. And again, this week, for some of you, you free yourself from that environment. And some of you, of course, free yourself from a really toxic or unhealthy relationship. And although it may be it doesn't come without pain, this is all a real sort of development week for you, right? A progressive week, a growing week, a learning week. All right, Capricorn, this is it. This is your reading for October 27th to November 3rd. I hope it resonated. And if it did, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, and share. Hit the notifications so you can be notified when I upload my other videos or when I have live streams. Sometimes I have very short notice. And so if you hit the notification, that bell, you will be notified whenever the live streams are up or going to be up. All right, guys, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, Bow and Arrow Tarot, Bow Arrow Tarot. But for right now, I'm just going to say have a wonderful week, Capricorn, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye now.